Hey everybody, I am about to connect with my friend PattiPagliei, who is just a special person, and we have a lot to talk about today. But going to try to keep it on topic of just letting her tell her great story of survival and now thriving, and how she and her husband, hi Amy, I miss you, see the bright side. They really do. They're special people. She is my friend who owns WaxingPoetic, this week's giveaway of this beautiful inner compass chain and pendant, and or inner compass pendant with the chain. And then we're going to talk about something new, a project we've done together. So a lot to cover in about hopefully 45 minutes, but I tend to get talking. I've made a mental note to listen more than I talk today. Patty, are you there? Did you get the live request? Okay, she's coming. Let me see, Patty. There we go. Okay. Just asked you again. So hopefully that will come through. There you are.
Hi.
How are you, Patty?
Oh my gosh. I'm good. I'm sitting on the floor upstairs because my house is filled with people.
Well, same. I'm locked up in my office, which is now where I do these things because I can shut my door and sort of be in peace. And it's not that pretty, but I was thinking I need to kind of jazz it up here if I'm going to be
Right.
talking to a lot of people. You've got the
I've
beautiful.
created a halo around myself.
I'm serious. Well, you deserve it. You are an angel on this planet. What top do you have on? That's so cute. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, this is okay, it's like 100 degrees here today. It's beautiful.
I saw that. I read that.
Oh my gosh. So this is just something from the Shopkeepers by Les Demoiselles is the name of the
So
company.
pretty.
Oh no, Mes Demoiselles.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to
beautiful.
try.
I'm
I
feeling
have a
optimistic.
beautiful pendant on. I think I need to do a little bit of adjusting here.
Yeah, let's see what you're wearing.
Well, I'm wearing my inner compass pendant.
Beautiful.
That is up for a giveaway this week with you, and the chain also.
Yeah, I love
I
it.
have on my
So
cuff,
beautiful.
which
You
we'll
wear
talk
it well.
about later. I'm going to try to keep this. I'm so happy to see you, and thank you so much for
Hello,
popping on.
friend. Thanks.
Yeah, we just have, there's a lot of really meaty, great things to get to today with you.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is my friend and my soul sister, PattiPagliei, and we met last year down in Santa Barbara, and I actually did a job for you, a modeling job through my agent. Was kind of all set up, and I had no idea I was in for such an absolute treat meeting you until the morning I woke up, and then we'll talk about that. But I knew that day was going to be special somehow, you know, when you wake up those days, and I just felt it. So,
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I just for everybody here, hello. I hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say how I met Wendy, because I'm sure this happens to all of you when you're falling down rabbit holes on Instagram, which is basically how I discovered Wendy. I went on somebody else's page and I saw Wendy in a post, and I said, I felt like I knew you. I was like, that's cool. I'm going to follow her. I'm over 50. I need this, like, you know, energy in my life. And I just love that you were promoting fashion and style and living and beauty and health, but you also have this like very deep side to the work that you do. And we do too at WaxingPoetic. We delight people, and we want to, you know, encourage celebration and marking all these things in our lives and everything. But, you know, we're pretty thoughtful people, and so are you. So I'm so glad we met. I'm just thrilled to be working with you and collaborating.
Same. I feel the same. And and you know, to your introduction, PattiPagliei, she has the business WaxingPoetic, a beautiful, beautiful line of jewelry, just special, meaningful. You know, we'll go into a little bit of that. 18, how long have you had it? WaxingPoetic?
It'll be 20 years next year. So
Okay,
19 years, I
20
guess.
years. I was going to say 18, 19, and then your
Yeah.
sister is your business partner for that
Lizanne's, yeah, I
venture.
hope she's on. I'm not sure. I hope she's here.
Okay.
Hi, Lizanne, if you're here.
Hi, Lizanne. And you and your husband, John, who I'm going to also talk about in your intro here, own a beautiful shop, which is currently on pause. A little bit of online, which we'll
A little
touch on,
bit,
but
right?
the Shopkeepers in Santa Barbara, and it's one of my favorite places I've ever walked into, not only because just for so many reasons, but the people are wonderful, the clothes and the jewelry, the waxing poetics there, that, you know, your line, everything. I loved it. So I fell in love with Patty and John and the store and waxing and all these things on this beautiful trip down to Santa Barbara. So we'll touch on some of that, but Patty, I really wanted you to come on here today because you have such a story. You're you're a cancer survivor.
Nice.
And while you were recovering, or around that time, you went through something absolutely terrifying with your daughter, not one time, but two times.
Yeah, I did.
So can you just, I'm just going to sit back and listen and let everyone listen to your story. And just one last thing, when I met your husband, John, we all sat down, which was another just special moment. And he's a special man. And I can tell it is evident his love for you and Lulu. And it was just so beautiful. And he just said, look, we are going to live, you know, we are here once. And so that perspective came
Right
to you from.
Yeah, I mean, when you're taken to the edge, you understand what life's about. You understand what living's about. You hold everything more precious every day, every breath, every sunrise, every sunset. So I know so many people that follow you and that follow us are also survivors. They've had losses, incredible losses, all kinds of things. Personally, for me, you know, I thought when I finished breast cancer that maybe I would have a reprieve and it was over and I could, you know, get back to some sort of normal, even though I looked different. My whole life was different, and have some scars to prove it and carry those with me like a badge of honor, like a lot of us survivors do. But, you know, cancer is a hard thing to go through. And I had a out of body experience one night before, you know, they scan your whole body when they discover cancer usually. And, you know, you wait a day for the results, and it's sort of like, okay, has it spread? That moment, that evening, I got in bed at 7:30, and I was just tired, and I was getting prepared to hear bad news. And so I went to bed early and did my prayers, and I literally left my body that night. I have a hard time kind of explaining this to people, but I do want to report back from where I went that everything's fine. If you're taken to the edge, I felt I was thinking, like, if this is it, if I have to say goodbye to people I love here and move on, if this is my time, you know, I sort of surrendered to that, if that was the inevitable thing, which thank God it wasn't. And I'm here with my family and people I love. But if it was, I was shown something that evening, and that stayed with me. And that's in my work and in my writing and the things that I'm pursuing. You know, it is a gift to be here. I mean, Wendy, you and I shared this. Part of the project that we're working on together is to spread this message of what a precious life it is, how precious it is to be here. And we all know that, right? Everybody out here, it's like you get taken to the edge and you're like, wow. And we're in it right now with Corona.
Yes, we are. Yes.
We're in it right now. But personally, you know, surviving breast cancer, and I've been with other friends who've survived. The main thing it taught me was how much people loved me. I had no idea until I was sitting in chemo, people sending me cards that I hadn't heard from in, you know, 20 years, old friends. Like, to receive love is such a big deal in life. So that I learned how to accept love. That was a big deal for me, because I think I thought I didn't need that as much, or I'm not sure, but but that's something that happens when you go through a trial like that. And people just rally, and they're feeding you, and they're feeding your husband, and they're driving your kid to school, and they're, you know, picking things up for you and all of that. So that was incredible. So I came through that with a new understanding, and I brought that into my work. I had already designed some things for the survivors in our community that had asked for some talismans for people that finished their treatments. And I never understood until I went through it myself. And nobody does. I mean, you can try to understand other people's positions, but I think when you're in it yourself, it hits home. And so I'm really thankful for the grace that I got from the breast cancer. You know, I hate to call it a journey. It's a you know, it's a devastating thing, but it brings a lot of grace with it. And then just quickly, since you asked for the rest of my story, as a mother, the worst thing in the world is to see your child get sick. And we had some plans to go live abroad for a year after I was like, I'm going to do my living. I'm done with breast cancer. I beat it. I'm fine. We're going to go pursue a dream we've always had as a family and go live in Europe for a year. And then Lulu got really sick. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, because we say that it's her story to tell, because she does not like when I tell people the details. But I will tell you, she had to be helicoptered to Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. And she's fine. She came through one surgery. It was a life-threatening surgery, life-threatening condition. Could physically impair her for the rest of her life. She came through pretty well the first time. And then it happened again in 2018. So the first one happened, I finished my treatment in August, and she was having surgery in December on my birthday. So every mother's worst nightmare, right? For all of us out there that have
100%. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that taught me also the value of love and friendship, and needing a support network, right? Needing people that will boost you up and distract you while you're sitting through 7-8 hour surgeries, waiting for good news, hoping that it's not bad news. And that also taught me how to stay present, because your ego wants to go to the worst case scenario. Oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? So I had some mantras that I was using during that time, sitting through those treatments and surgeries and stuff. And honestly, that helps. And we were talking, Wendy, earlier about like the finding stillness responses that you got. When you posted the giveaway and asking people how they find stillness. And I loved reading those. And I share almost every single one of them. Don't you? Like,
oh, yes.
Nature, being, you know, reading, meditating, you know, going to your special spot. That I'm not messing around anymore. You know, it's like after you go through a few of these things, the other thing that happened for us that we're kind of now in on a global scale is my community went through a fire and a mudslide.
Right.
That took many homes. It took 23 or 24 people died. And it was devastating for our community. So we've been through the ringer.
Have you ever?
Yeah. But we're still here, you know?
You're still there, and you're loved, and you love. And, you know, you said something very, very important, which I'm learning to do. And I certainly, you know, like you said, until you've been through these things, cancer, beating it, your child going through something, you know, horrific. I mean, I can sit here and I get emotional and I cry for you, but I've not been through that, you know, but you said something very important, and that is to let yourself receive love. And I had a call earlier this week on Monday with Peter Crone, and he said that, you know, to reinforce, that's one of the best things we can do for ourselves. Like, and especially we as women and mothers, we love, and we give. And I'm the worst at saying, I'll take a moment for myself. I'll take that. Okay. Thank you. Or, you know, receiving, because it is important to let yourself receive that. And what a gift that was for you. I love hearing that
And
story.
to be the vulnerable one on the
Yes,
couch,
to let
growing
go
up, getting
because
sick, and have
right.
and let yourself be loved and helped is, and ask for help. To ask for help
Yes.
is a big
Yes.
deal.
Yeah,
So
that's a huge one.
yeah,
Asking for help. But
asking for help.
you
Yeah,
know, and we talk about the lens in which you can view life, right? Through and you know, this COVID, it's, I mean, I'm having some days, Patty, you know, and everyone is, but
yeah,
your lens would be so different because, you know, one, you live in a beautiful place and you're around people that love you. And I understand all of that. We're lucky for that and we're privileged for that. So that's a gift. But,
yeah,
you know, you're just like, hey, I just have to hang out in my house. Like this, you know, going through what you went through, I just think
yeah,
it's important that we, well, not only recognize where we are, but put ourselves in other people's shoes to have a
yeah.
to have good perspective. I mean, that's really the only way to say it, you
I
know?
think that's, yeah, and I think it's absolutely, you know, I the compassion and empathy and sort of, I think, really feeling somebody else's pain. I remember when my good friend Jen got breast cancer, and I found out, it hit me. I was just like, and I think it hit me. I think it was worse for me than it was for her, because I
Was
was
that
just like
before you
so
or
scared that
after
I would
you?
lose her. And yeah,
Before you or after you had it?
before,
Okay,
before,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. And so I think you play a role as somebody, the person who's carrying the illness. You're like the center of the wheel, but um, there's a lot of transformation and energy around you that I think is, people don't talk about this a lot, but it's a really important, like, byproduct of getting sick or having a loss, is it gives people an opportunity to realize, oh my God, like, I love my friend. I want to do things for her. And you know, that moment of like, wow, we might lose what we maybe we're taking for granted, is it's just palpable. You know, you can feel it, and you're living in that. You're living in that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, you know, I always think back when I was young and I didn't have a care in the world, and you know, I never understood life the way I understand it now, having gone through that, and I'm grateful for that grace. So
I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah. I think
yeah,
you've lived 1,000 lives, really. You know, you're one of those
yeah,
people. I think I am too. I just feel like, even though I haven't gone through that, yeah. But
yeah,
so, yeah, Patty, your story is inspiring and amazing. And you know, the bright side that you and John and Lulu live on is something I think about that a lot. I think about sitting there with John and having him go, we're going to live our lives. Like, look what we've been through. How could we not? You know,
yeah.
every single precious moment.
Me
And,
too.
and
And
I
hasn't this pandemic brought that to all of us too?
yes, I was just
That
going to
focus
say,
of like, when you get it all taken away, it's like you can't go to a concert, you can't go to a movie or to your favorite restaurant to say hi to your favorite waiter or visit your favorite boutique. It's like it's all taken away. And what do we do with how are we going to return to living
that's a
with
good
each other?
question. Yeah. And,
Um,
you know, I feel like we're so disconnected from so many things we're used to. But I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm connecting with so many things that are important, um,
yeah,
including my own triggers and my own things that are coming up, you know, when you're in these situations that you have to deal with it. And
yeah,
so despite the disconnect on this external level, I feel such a connection, you know, and I was saying yesterday to a friend, I feel like it's one of the happiest things that has come for me, or one of the best things, is that I'm feeling deeper connections with certain people that
yeah.
I don't
I
think
do too,
it
completely.
would have happened that fast, or that, you know, so um
Yeah,
I
everybody, don't you feel that way? I'm like talking to my siblings more. I'm talking to my old friends that I
totally,
haven't talked to in a while. It's like, what an opportunity. It brought everything into focus.
yes,
And,
and
and just getting back to Wendy, I just wanted to, as just a reminder to myself and everybody else, of that living, like, with a capital L, really living. Like, there are so many times like we've wanted to do something in our lives and we've like, we're not going to do that now. Like, we're going to hold off on that. We're not going to take that trip. We're not going to go do that thing or whatever. And I just feel like it's so healthy to live. It's like, I feel like I got sick because I wasn't living in an integrated life. And I think it brought on a lot of stress, and my immune system got weak and I got sick. And that a lot of people that have gone through cancer, people that have, I know that they believe that also, but there are cases of people that had been diagnosed 6 months to live that finally it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go live at the beach for my last 6 months. And then they live for 10 more years.
It's a rebirth, right?
Because they actually started living the way they always wanted to live. And I think that we can do that. We can create from this place in this pandemic. And for people like that are creators, you're a creator, and I know a lot of the people on this call, we have the power to do it. It's up to us to do it, and stop waiting for permission for somebody else to say, hey, go do that. Or if you're feeling judged, or, just who cares?
Go do it.
Keep yourself healthy.
Yes, I just posted something in my story right before we hopped on this call, these sort of rules to live by, and I used to have them front and center on my desk, and they are again now. But one of the first one is give yourself permission to claim your life. You're the only one who can decide. You're in charge of your life. Turn off the editors, right? Great advice. Turn off the shoulds and have tos and musts and the rules that didn't come from you, that didn't come from your own heart, because that longing is so real, isn't it?
It is.
It's that when you long for something with good intention, with intention from within yourself, with no external, gravity or pull, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That yearning is so real. It's
so real. And the caution of when somebody else is, and this happens a lot in the world of self-care gurus on Instagram, and people telling you this is how, maybe they're not being like super didactic and saying do it this way, but they might just say this is what I do. But still, it's like to really work that muscle of like, but what do I do? Who am I? And not look to, because the external forces are going to be like, they're going to try to take you away from listening to yourself. And, listen to everything. It's all there. We're all just expressing ourselves, right? But I think it's like tune in, and that's really where when we created the Inner Compass, I felt the need to do that for myself. I wanted to wear something to remind me to do that, and I wanted to be able to gift that to people. I just think it's really important. You have to be really careful what you take in and because I think it can be depressing. A lot of people, they don't like social media because it makes them feel horrible. And that's, I think, one of the reasons. It's like, you know what, just read it, but remember who you are.
That's right.
Always remember that.
That's right. And I think, I've got 2 teenage daughters, so that's a whole other level of influence on social media. But I think, by the time you get to be our age, hopefully you can decipher people's intentions and where they're coming from, what they're saying. And, but so important what goes in here, what goes in here, what goes in here.
Yeah.
All of it. It is, it's so important, and to let certain things go.
Yeah.
But,
surrender and just sort of like open up and allow. Yeah. And
sometimes it takes a tragedy to get there. Sometimes it takes just time. Sometimes, some people are just born wise. I don't know, but I know I've had to have a lot of hard knocks, and I've gone through a lot too.
Well, you lost your friend at such a young age, and that's an early delivery for a lesson like that. 26 years old. I mean, she was.
Yeah, and the way she died, which, speaking of loss, actually, this is good. We'll switch this around, but just a great story to when we met was November 5th, And that is the day that my best friend from childhood passed away. And she and I always joked, if, you know, something ever happened to you, the right side of my body would, it would be like I didn't have one side of my, I mean, we were that connected, really a soulful, deep, I think we saved each other, you know, in middle school and high school and post. And she was, and this is on my blog, but she was a virgin until her senior year in college. She slept with one man, he gave her AIDS, and she died 5 years later, is the nutshell, in Kansas. Okay, there's a whole other story to that. But November 5th is the day I celebrate her on her birthday. In August, I celebrate her on November 5th. I write her parents and siblings notes, and I woke up that day, and that's the day I was shooting with you. And I just thought, this is gonna be a special day.
Yeah.
So I posted a story that said, "For you, I age with joy."
Yes.
And I had not met you yet because I was with, you know, with the crew, and then you came in, and it was just one of those moments. I met you. Every fiber of my being knew you were going to be in my life. And you had seen the story, and we talked about age with joy. Those are such, something has to be done with these words.
Yeah.
And you said, well, I've got this series of cuffs from, you know, various authors and people, and with different amazing quotes on them, and we'll talk about that. But you said, let's put it on a cuff. Let's collaborate and put it on a cuff. And you know,
I love Age with Joy. I love that message.
And here it is.
When I took it to our team, everybody said, "Oh my God, that's the message we need." Wendy, it's so beautiful. I have mine on too.
Yes.
So everybody who's lost somebody, this is like the place. This is where this got birthed from. All the people that I lost, my friend Joyce last year to breast cancer, and she was not quite 50 yet. And I lost a couple other people last year. They're not here to age. They're not here to grow old. And Wendy's best friend is not here to grow old. And, you know, so like that really, it's like, what can I do? What can I do? I want to stay connected to them. And I want to do something, because that helpless feeling of just like, oh my God, where's my friend? Where's Joyce? Where'd she go?
Yes.
And then it's like, you know what? I'm not going to squander my time here.
No. Age with joy. And that doesn't mean every moment of every day is joyous and perfect, because it's not. But joy is something that's, you know, just to always remember that you are actually here aging. And and your friends aren't, and my friends not, and a lot of people are not. And I feel a responsibility and a duty to her. You know, she's a large part of why I started Goodbye CropTalk, to send this message that it's time to start living, and it's never too late. Whether you're 60 or 50 or 40, the company you keep, the things you're eating, how you're moving, what you're reading, all these things, it's just never too late. It's never too late to start aging with joy. So I'm really honored to collaborate with you on this cuff. It really means the world to me. I mean, I'm in okay company with Liz Gilbert and Jen Pashloff. You know, they're all right. Wow. I feel a little bit like a fish out of water with that crew, but I mean, they're amazing. They also have cuffs with great quotes, which you can go on the site and see. But speaking of Jen Pashloff, I believe I'm saying her name right. It's more of a sh than a s. Jen Pashloff, who has an amazing book out called On Being Human, which I am in the middle of now. Very real, very authentic, amazing. She has started a fund called On Being Human 2020, and the proceeds go to gift cards and groceries for individuals and families in need. So Patty and I had a conversation, and Jen's name came up, the fund came up. I said, that's the second time this week that On Being Human 2020 has come up to me. It's a sign. So 50% of our collaboration cuff, Age with Joy, will go to Jen Pashloff's On Being Human 2020 to feed people in need, which is so important. as are many things right now, but I really like to hone it in here on my platform so it's not so, so people
Yeah.
don't get confused. So that is where 50% of these proceeds go. The rest of them are really going to make them. I mean, you're dealing with all that on the other end right now. So it's so gracious and of you on so many levels.
Oh my God, I'm so to be able to do this and to give back and to keep people employed, which is also really important during this time because a lot of people are losing their
That's
livelihood.
right. Yeah.
And that's important. But Jen has done an incredible job. And getting back to sort of where we were a little earlier in our conversation about being brave and like living and doing what is in your heart. She started this. It was sort of like she's just said, "Are you hungry?" She put something on Instagram, "Are you hungry?" And people just started, because she is such an empathetic person, always wants to do for others, and it's pretty brave to do that, to start by yourself with nothing. With nothing. And I started my business that way. You started Goodbye Crop Top that way. Many people that are listening started things in their lives. When you just do it, you're the first person. You're like in that Brene Brown, like you're in the arena by yourself. And
I
people
love
might be
that
judging you
quote.
like, what the heck is she doing? How does she think she's going to raise $20,000? Well, she surpassed it. The need was so huge. She raised the bar to $250,000. She's already over 100,000. We've contributed a great amount thanks to Liz Gilbert, our friend, promoting, and Jen promoting on her platform and other people sharing, and you now doing this. So it's just, I think we just do things together. Like, let's do this. Let's help each other. Let's not wait,
I agree.
And let's not judge. Let's instead stand together in it and be together
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, no judgment. That's paramount, no judgment. And no judgment ever, but I think to this, COVID stuff and being trapped, and no one's handling it a right way or a wrong way. Just like life. Everyone is handling it with the toolbox that they're carrying around and the tools they've collected over the years or whatever has gone on in their life. And I think that's such an important reminder now. No judgment. Everyone, because I felt that a lot, I'd post something positive. How can you post something positive when all the negatives going on in the world? I post something factual. I get ripped apart for that. So, I'm like, I can't win. So I'm going to go from my heart and my gut, which is the same as yours. And I'm going to try to be a bright light instead of rehashing all the facts that everyone sees 10 times a day anyway.
Yeah. I'll tell you this one thing that our friend Jen Pashtoloff, she has a saying called the 1 in 100. And it's sort of like you have 100 people that love you and there's one person that says something negative, and that's the thing you focus on. And it's true for so many of us, but I think it's just, you just kind of, you have to keep moving. I mean, that's the cheap seats, right? Like Brene Brown says. And I think we've all learned that. And all of us who are entrepreneurial women and creators and supporting other women. Yeah. It's like, we're not going to cast stones from the cheap seats. That's a brave person in there. And we need to support that person, right?
Yes. And Brene Brown's quote, and I don't know it exactly, but if you're not in the arena with me fighting, however, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I really don't care.
All right.
Because you're not putting yourself out there like I am,
Right. Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah. I saw that. I saw Jen's quote. I heard you two maybe talk about it, the 1 in 100 thing.
Yeah.
Listen to the 99. Let that one person go. But it's like sometimes that one person is in the megaphone, aren't they? And everyone else is kind of so easy to be hard on ourselves and others. And but I think there's no right or wrong. I mean, there is good and bad, and I know there is right and wrong in a sense, but not the way you handle things, the way you're handling the situation. It's just everyone's just doing their own thing, the best.
Yeah, we're trying to stay connected, and we need laughter, we need comedy, we need, to clean our closets, we need to bake, we need to, and if Rebco's listening, Rebco, your toast posts are amazing. My friend Rebecca has been posting. she does amazing things with toast and everything in her refrigerator.
Oh, I
But
love it. I need some of those tips.
It's like that's showing us our humanity. It's like we're all actually pretty similar, aren't we? Like we're all.
Are we ever?
And your breakfast looked amazing, Wendy, today.
It's so good.
It looked really good.
You know, Lauren Roxburgh and I talked yesterday about what's bringing us joy. And I think you've said a few things for you, and I would love to hear more about like that simple, those farm fresh eggs, you know, just, like it almost makes me, you know, tear up. I love it so much. You just start to appreciate these little things so much more, you know, that you're too busy to even think about, and you're, moving on. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to actually sit down and, you know.
I can, like, we're in this, like, you know, suspended state, like in a great pause. That's kind of how I felt when I was in chemo. I felt it's like you're pausing from life for a little while and you're away from it, you know, so you collect that, you understand things on a deeper level. And I think we're all in that place. I mean, I had no idea what my friends, how creative and talented, what good gardeners they are and chefs, and they're, you know, they're doing all kinds of cool things and writing in their journals and creating poetry. And, you know, so like, we're all learning so much about each other. And I just like, I don't think we would have done this any other way.
No.
If COVID hadn't happened.
Right.
Not that we would ever wish a pandemic. And
of course,
so unfortunate for all the people that have. I just saw Elizabeth Warren posted today that her brother passed away from COVID. I mean, people are, there's such real devastation and need. And I mean, that's why even with the little things we do, it's like we make jewelry, but we're going to do it and try to help now. We all are, I see just people packing groceries and dropping groceries off for neighbors and all the wonderful things that we can do. It's like all those little things really matter, don't they?
Do they ever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're doing our own, you know, we're doing what we can do to kind of, you know, be a good employer, and our employees are just amazing. Everybody's so supportive, and our customers have been writing us nice notes, and we have people stepping up and just, you know, joining us in this mission as you have. Just help Jen, just not let that need hang out there without being met, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the grocery cards are, she finally got, the GoFundMe was holding the money. So they finally released it. So the people that have applied for grocery cards are now going to be getting their grocery cards. So they'll be getting be able to go buy bags of groceries for their family, thank God. And Jen's got a whole team of volunteers that are, she's got like, I think 20 people. I don't think she really realized she would be starting an organization just trying to help people. But
that's how it happens, doesn't it? I mean, it's just the bravery. Like you said, she put it out there. Who's hungry? Who needs this? And there you go. The wildfire started, and you know.
And all the volunteers, people just stepped up. Dana, who's helping her run the fund, and the volunteers. If you go on Jen Pashloff's Instagram, you'll see she has a video with all the volunteers and talking about why they joined, and it's amazing. So I think if anybody out there listening wants to help us, just DM me or Wendy if you have you know, something to offer or you want to help out. I think that would be amazing.
Amazing, for sure.
Just keep spreading the word and helping them feed people.
Yes, for sure. And that is the fund and the funnel I've chosen to help out with. And the link is in my bio for the Age with Joy cuff, which is just the greatest gift. And it's brass and sterling silver. There's a choice. It's an amazing gift. Like, I would love.
Isn't this the best, like,
I did get that. I got this as a gift from you, and it was I was going to say, if I got this for a gift, I did get this as a gift. And thank you for that.
Friends out there, this is going to be this is your birthday gift.
40th Age with Joy, yes. And 50% of the proceeds go to On Being Human 2020, Jen Pashloff's amazing fund out there feeding families and individuals. The link for the Age with Joy cup is in my bio on my Instagram. I'm also going to put a link to donate directly to On Being Human 2020. So you can do either. If you don't choose to buy the cup, you can make a donation if you choose, and it's there for you. I'll make it really simple. I'll also put some stories up over the next couple weeks for that. And wow, I think we have about 7 minutes really. I'm trying to keep these to a certain time because I keep going over and then they won't upload, and I want to be able to send these out to everybody at week's end. Anything else? I mean, I have a couple other things I want to definitely wrap up with. You talked earlier about the question, how, find stillness and then start. I think that is so important now, because if I don't find stillness each morning before I start my day, the day is a different place. It takes a different turn. If I wake up every morning, this is how I find stillness. I'm just answering the question that we asked. And do a little bit of meditating, even if it's 5 minutes, even if I don't have much time. I like the Insight Timer, which is a free one. You can kind of pick and choose what your mood is. And if you have 3 minutes, you can choose a 3-minute meditation. And I love Deepak and Oprah's, all of their meditations. I'm loving those. I journal afterwards. So meditation, journal, moving, music, laughter.
Moving,
hugs. But oddly, that's how I find stillness, is if I move alone, then I can take a breath, I can feel better.
Yeah.
And then I can start my crazy day. So how do you find stillness before
you
start?
I find a lot the same way you, and I think just what you were saying, like just getting to, it's like, we're all like, we're working and we're making cups and we're doing our businesses and we're doing our families, but just to find that time for yourself is just like, then you can really connect with yourself. And I think like sometimes also if people have a hard time meditating, sometimes it's helpful to read, like I'm reading a lot of Mary Oliver right now. My friend Kristen gave me Devotion. It's like a anthology of all her poetry. And if you have a hard time meditating, sometimes just reading like one poem in the morning, it just, because just sit with it, and it's just sort of like it like just turns the dial a little bit. But I do the same. I like to be up with the birds are always out here, and I like, just if I'm up at like 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning, sometimes I'll just get up and I'll go outside and I'll just sit there and I just listen, and it just washes over me, and I just connect and I say hi to the trees, and like I'm just in nature, just in a simple way.
Nature is huge. It is. Even sitting on your back deck, just look at, whatever it is, putting your feet in the grass or the sand or the snow.
Like even if you find yourself in a funk, like, and you're just, your partner's driving you crazy, or you just like, you made 5 meals today and you're fed up, like just like taking your shoes off and going and sticking your feet in the dirt is a good, like, feeling your, that's another good one for Eckhart Tolle fans. I did this when I was taking my walks when I was in chemo. It's so hard to get up off the couch, and I'm just like, I gotta drag myself out there. I gotta do this. I have my playlist. But he says like just feel your finger, like feel the energy in your fingers, like in a small place. If you just feel how alive you are, how like the universe is breathing. You're not doing the breathing, like the universe is doing the breathing, and just feel that. Just those little shifts. You can do it in the middle of a dinner with your family. You could just take, step off it for a minute and just get in, just feel your finger, just feel yourself alive. And it's it's just like, I always just get that, like that amazing sense of like wellness. It feels so good. And it's not like a quiet meditation, but it's just a little shift back into yourself. And I think that's like an easy thing that we can do, that we sometimes, we're in our bodies and we think we control everything, but really the universe has our back. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I really do.
Well, you of all people should have that. I mean,
many of us.
I believe it. I believe it too. And funny you should say that. I do this little, I don't even know where I found it or what practice. I don't know if it's Kundalini or what practice it comes from, but there's this, you touch each of your fingertips and you say, peace is within me. And that's peace is within me. I sit with my hands under the dinner table when chaos is occurring, and I say, I touch my fingertips. So to Eckhart's point, it's like, it's the same thing. I feel the energy and I take a breath and I start over. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Simple, small, easy thing, like memorable thing to do, easy to remember like that. I sometimes, if you don't know or you're in a place like, it's good to have a little practice. I love the insight timer also. And I haven't done Deepak yet, but my cousin invited me to, so I think I'm going to start that. Is it
well,
good?
Oprah kicks it off, right? Which is just like a small slice of heaven.
Yeah.
And then Deepak speaks, and then you go into meditation. And the whole thing's like 17-20 minutes, something like that. It's not very long. And it really, and then I always journal after meditating. I'm fairly new to consistent meditation. I've kind of done it here and there, but it has made a drastic difference for me.
Yeah.
So,
And what comes out doing that journaling, what comes up that you're kind of recognizing and recognizing.
whoa.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Yes. Yes.
You definitely have
Sometimes
a
it's
monkey
like
mind.
out of body. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm writing. So it's amazing. So Patty, I love you with my whole heart. You are an amazing person and human, and I love everything you're doing. I love the shift you've had in your businesses to help others now. You're very special, and
thank you so much for your support.
Love
You're
that you
amazing.
Yeah,
I'm in love with your community. I'm so grateful for you. And
I'm in love with my community too. They're amazing women, and I feel so blessed to be connected with all of you. You're all there. So to wrap it up, the Age with Joy cuff.
Yay!
Link in my bio. Age with Joy, a great little gift, comes in brass or sterling silver. 50% of the proceeds go to On Being Human 2020, Jen Pashtolov's efforts to help feed families and individuals during COVID. I want to also remind everyone to go and get your name in the hat to win the Inner Compass pendant, which is, I loved it. I fell in love with this when I was with you down in Santa Barbara, and then you sent it to me in the mail, and I almost passed out. And the chain sold separately, but the winner will receive both. And the back says, find stillness, then start. So let's just leave everyone with that. Find your stillness and then start. And I can't wait to talk to you again.
What a great message.
Love you, Patty.
Love you so much.
Okay, talk soon.
Bye.